Developers Log 4, a Sucker Free Games production.
The designers, Danielle Dorsey,
Diner Dash, and Princess Tomato.
Liam McDonald.
Not for any intentional reason other than the fact that we hate you.
The programmer, John Norman.
Alright.
Armed with a fridge of energy drinks, an Xbox 360, and the Torque X 2D engine, this group of gaming geniuses have banded together in an unholy alliance to produce a masterpiece of retro gaming goodness. Dungeons. This is their true story.
This is William sleeping. He's been working since 6 a.m. last night. Now, watch me as I take a marker and draw on his face. It will be glorious. What? Can you even get a clear shot in your current state?
No.
No? Go. Okay. Update. Oh, they're all swarming bullocks. If you looked at them, oh, they ran. They can run now. Oh, aren't they so cute? Their little feet flurring. I can now do jumping and running combos. And so I can actually have multiple combo strings that we can switch to. As you'll see, Rose right here. Her normal combo is still there. But her running combo is actually a two-hitter now.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. They're attacking. Ugh. Oh, they're beating the crap out of Rose. Oh no. I get my...
Yep, we added the kind of like a hit point system here, where we can do damage and they can get damaged and even die. And we have a spawner, as you can see, so we have an infinite number of enemies flowing towards our characters until we eventually lose. Oh, Rose died.
Rose died.
Look, they're raping her corpse.
Yeah, they currently don't notice if a player is dead yet. Might as well just shut it off. But yes, they now attack. Our cute little kobolds now attack. Currently, we don't have any invincibility frames for the players. And so you can really get yourself screwed. Because they'll just keep on attacking over and over and you'll just keep getting hit. But we eventually plan to fix that. So we can now give the enemies various types of attacks.
Today I'm going to show you how I'm doing the sprites. But more specifically, the rotoscoped sprites. So, the first thing I do is I open up Adobe Premiere CS4, also known as Adobe! And there it is. And here's the green screen footage. This is me being Siegfried or Rohan, whichever I end up being. I'm awesome. And what we're going to be doing right now is start on the Big Kahuna, because he's a boss before Siegfried. And to do him, I'm going to need to find my green screen footage. Screen roto. There we go. And there's Chase, in all his glory. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to have to rotoscope the fat as it goes up and down. See, let's look at that again. See that jiggle? That's what we need for realism, people. Okay, and that's where it ends. So, let's see. Take all this, drag it into the timeline, and now I will edit it down to just the keyframes that we need. And I'll show you what happens after that. Okay, so what I've done now is I've broken apart the green screen into this sort of action loop. It sort of starts off with Chase as the big kahuna getting up and pointing, the big fat fraternity leader, and there's a point he does before he attacks someone, and then he has a loop where he can jump. He then turns around, throws a pop can or a beer can, and then jumps to their side, giving. If the beer cans hit a player, it hurts them, but after it hits the ground, if Bullocks drinks it, he gets more drunk, which in turn powers him up, so he can get into drunken rage. Basically, he jumps from one side to the other, and then the other attack he has is he swings at the carrot wildly and gets tired and has a period where he's like breathing heavy and turning around. During that period, the players can hurt him. However, if they make contact with him while he's doing that kind of forward attack, he does one of these animations where he either punches them in the face or hugs them and then squishes them beneath his mighty thighs. From there we have like some hit effects. There's it from the left and there's it from the right, and then of course we have his death animation. Anyway, so after the frat boys, so now that we have the frat boys loop edited down from that half hour worth of footage down to this little tiny what is this, 2 minute 55 seconds bit of footage. I'm now going to go into the mighty Premiere CS4 media encoder and tell it to go to a bitmap. We're going to tell it to go at 8 frames a second at 320 by 180. The reason why it's so low is because this is a low resolution game and it makes it so I don't have to shrink it all down frame by frame and thing. 8 frames by second because most of our animations are 4 frames a second unless they're a main character or a boss, and we try to double that. But we're not trying to get like Metal Slug style where we have like 30 frames a second per animation. That's just crazy. And we're 3 people and I'm the only spriter.
So you drive William mad.
And I suck, like I've said before. So, okay, that all looks good. I'll tell it to save it into, I'll make a folder. I'll call it Kahuna. Misspelled, of course, because I can't spell, but I'll look that up later. Set that, say okay. Now it exports that data into the encoder. Now I have to do the waiting game with the encoder. Start. And now there's yet another waiting game as we wait for the renderer to go. Oh, it's already
the magic of jump cuts.
Yes, we have lots of. Now let's feel like I'm doing screen recording, so people can actually. We have this now. We can actually.
I'm recording the screen also.
Yeah, because we're that awesome. Okay.
Double screen recording. You should put it like a picture-in-picture.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there it is. There's Chase at 8 frames a second. And I'm going to have the pleasure of rotoscoping over every supple inch of his body to make the Big Kahuna. So, yep, you want to know what the Big Kahuna looks like? I'll give you a quick look of our first draft of him. This is just a character profiles. Chase is going to be the final body build with a little bit more muscle tacked on thanks to the magic of airbrushing. Okay, that's our first draft I did a while ago.
Zooming in.
Based on Danielle's drawings. And it looks pretty cool. I mean, I think I made him too dark, and Danielle doesn't like the color palette I used. I based it off of the Incredible Hulk. She wants something more brown, so I'll be going back over it. I respect her opinion, and I respect her opinion more than my own.
You should tell them what those things on his head are.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a beer hat. See, up close, there's the straws going into his mouth, and the straw going up in the back of the head, just like a beer hat. He has 2 kegs attached to his head. You'll see other orcs in the game with regular-sized beer hats. When you get to the Big Kahuna, he has kegs attached to his beer hat. That's how awesome he is. He is the Big Kahuna, and he will squish you beneath his mighty thighs and girth, and hug you with his arms. And stuff. Yeah, that's about it.
But what I'm going to show now is I custom created a little spawner. It's just a blank scene node, and I created a custom spawner component where we can specify how many enemies the spawner will have. We can specify how many enemies that the spawner has stored in it, and how many concurrent enemies can be out at a single time. I also have a little spawn variation so they don't all spawn in the same spot, and also gave it a little delay so you can specify the delay between the spawnings. So let's give this little guy, this component, 50 enemies and have him pump out 20 at a time. So 20 on the screen at once. This guy, I created a new kobold. He actually is a little special. He moves slower, but he has more hit points, and he does more damage, and he also has a scale of 2.2. So he's bigger compared to this guy who only has 1 hit point. They die in mass. But this spawns him, so I'm going to maybe create 10 of them and have only 3 come out at once. So I'll save that. And we'll see how it works. It's loading, William. Oh, here we go. Bullocks save Rose. They're all spawning. He just sits there and slaughters them all. Slaughters them all.
This one's the big guy.
Ow!
He's, bam!
Bullocks has just slaughtered 60 kobolds.
Don't be a sucker!